All right, you guys, so if you want a full detailed build list of this car, if you're a Honda purist, and you want to go check out what's under the hood and everything like that, all the details, photos, definitely download the FanMods app. We have partnered with them once again to bring you guys this car. The link is in the top of the description. You can head on over right now to check out this profile, make your own profile for your car or cars, and go battle other people in the community for points. And then those points that you earn can actually be used for discounts on real aftermarket parts from a few different aftermarket websites. It's a really cool setup. You've also got weekly prizes and giveaways that go on within FanMods. And if you're at car shows and you want to display your ride in the app, you just set up a QR code like the one on screen right now to this profile, and then people can just scan the QR code and instantly have a detailed build and modification list and photos of your car. So it's pretty sweet. Just head down there in the description and check out FanMods. Give them a shout, give them a download, and help support the show. All right, you guys, what is going on? My name is Marcus, and today we are featuring the very first Honda Civic we've ever had here at Roads Untraveled. It's a Honda Civic Type-R 1999, freshly imported from Japan. You cannot get this in the States yet, which makes it even more exciting for us up here in Canada. And right now, it's got a 1.8 liter stroker kit under the hood, 189 horsepower to the front wheels, and it hits the track every now and again. But for today, it's only on the street. Let's go for a drive. Yeah, this is definitely one of the greats in the Japanese world, especially coming from the 1990s era, the golden age in Japanese automotive engineering, in my humble opinion. And this is one of the greats. I'm not even a Honda guy, and I am so excited to drive this car. This car has so much history and racing pedigree, and this car was just on the track less than a week ago. So it is being used, and I'm very excited to actually take it for a shakedown in the twisties and kind of see what a fully sorted out and very iconic front wheel drive Japanese hatchback is like. Little interesting tidbit about this car though, currently doesn't have a working tach, which is kind of, I'm a little bit worried about that, to be completely honest, you guys, because this car from the factory revs to 8,400 RPM, and obviously VTAC, as soon as you hit it, the revs just jump. They climb super quickly, so I really gotta feel it out. So this car's very loud. Power steering has been taken out, AC has been taken out, everything behind the front seats here has been taken out. There's no sound deadening whatsoever. Which kind of goes along with what this car was, so much fun already. What this car was designed to be, and this was the first Civic to wear a Type-R badge, okay? And what they did was basically lighter, louder, and more fun, okay? A little bit more power, but basically they just take out all the sound deadening, and this car weighs 2,400 pounds. From the factory. Now it has even more weight taken out of it, probably closer to 2,300 pounds. So right off the bat, you guys can clearly see that this is a very well taken care of vehicle. Yes, it is a driver's car. It does see track time, but regardless, the interior is impeccably detailed, and it retains all of the factory red cloth fabric on the interior and the door cards, as well as the factory, yes, factory red Recaro seats that truly complete this driving experience and complete the interior of this car for the better. Okay, so no power steering is honestly giving me a lot of confidence up front. Traditionally, I'm not a front-wheel drive car kind of guy, but when I do drive front-wheel drive cars, I like to get in the best ones, you know, the ones that give you the most confidence and the most feel, and the ones that once you get grip in the front end, you can really power out. Really, really power out. VTEC. Brakes feel very nice. Does have a bunch of spoon bits on it. Spoon banner. I mean, this is as period as it gets, essentially. I mean, yes, it has the 1.8 stroker. Yes, it's making probably 50 plus more horsepower than it did from the factory. But that's all keeping to the tradition of high revving NA Honda power.
I'm Devin Copens, and this is my 1999 EK9 with the spoon livery on it, and owned it for about 4 years. I first bought the car in 2014. Plan was to keep it bone stock. It came absolutely mint. Just wanted to keep it as a show car, keep it for 20 years, sell it. But that didn't go as planned. It was too fun to drive. Way too much fun to drive. So it became a daily driver. And unfortunately, when you do that, the paint starts to fade, the clear coat comes off, and you get door dings. So plan B was to turn it into what it is today. And made some phone calls to a couple friends back home on how to go about doing that. Donovan from Saskatchewan's kind of the Honda guru back there, and he put me in the right direction, gave me a couple contacts to get the parts from Japan, and the rest is history, really. So originally it has the B16B, which is a 1.6 liter, about 182 horsepower to the flywheel. And after doing all the exterior modifications to it, I decided it needed a little bit more go. Yeah, so we took a donor motor from a 98 spec Integra Type-R, 1.8 liter, ripped out all the internals from this motor, put in the crank rods and pistons from the 98 spec, which slaps right in, there's no problems, and here you have it, about 189 horsepower to the wheels. I don't know how we did it, but here we are. It's fairly stock after that, but yeah, I'm happy with it.
There's VTEC. Yeah, it's quick. It's actually fairly fast. It's not a torque monster. These engines are not designed to be torque monsters. This is a race-inspired engine. This is a race power band, right? It's all top end. It's all top end. So as with any car that has literally had the entire interior taken out behind the front seats, there is a lot of noise. Stays right in VTEC. It's very smooth, even when you're going extremely fast. So the car is on, it's got aftermarket struts on it and then progressive springs, so it still retains that kind of somewhat comfortable street ride that you kind of want out of a Honda Civic. Yes, when you think Honda Civic, you think of, or at least I traditionally just think of, you know, a commuter car. It's the base Honda model you can buy, or was back in the 90s. But this completely tosses all of that out the window, right? So you've got a very clean dash display, tack on the left side with, as I mentioned before, 8,400 RPM, red line, and then 9,000 RPM rev cutoff, rev limiter. This is a piece of history. This is a piece of history that will never be forgotten, even by me, not traditionally a Honda enthusiast. It is a great car, and to be able to import one of these now into North America, now we finally get to experience a truly good hot hatch. Now, compared to a modern Honda Civic Type-R, the brand new Civic Type-R, it's turbocharged, it's 4 doors, it weighs about, I believe it's about 800 pounds more than this car. It's more than 3,000 pounds, and this weighs about 2,400 pounds now. So it just goes to show, the first Honda Civic Type-R, I hate to say it, is probably the best Civic Type-R. It is stiff for the street. Even with these progressive springs, it is definitely stiff for the street. Pedal placement's very good, driving position's great. All right, you guys, so back in 1999, while Nissan was making some great Skyline GTRs, Honda was making this, the Civic Type-R, the first Civic with the Type-R badge. It's got a 1.6 liter Honda engine under the hood, and it's putting out 182 horsepower at the crank in factory form. Now, just to put that in perspective, this engine is making 113 horsepower per liter of displacement naturally aspirated. So I'm just going to give you, for perspective, a list of other naturally aspirated modern cars with less horsepower per liter than this Honda. Viper ACR, 77 horsepower per liter. Cayman GT4, 101 horsepower per liter. V12 Vantage S, the swan song of the NA V12 from Aston Martin, 95 horsepower per liter. The SLS Black Series, okay, the swan song for the 6.2 NA AMG engine, is only 100 horsepower per liter. And the only two other cars that I could find with relative ease with more horsepower per liter out of an NA engine is the Ferrari F12 and the Huracan, both with 116 horsepower per liter. Only three more horsepower per liter than this in a Ferrari F12. Let that sink in. So yes, in stock form, there are a lot of high-end cars with less horsepower per liter than this engine came with, all right? The one thing I forgot to mention was, yes, obviously all of those cars have what we like to call torque, and this does not. But that's not the point. Yeah, I definitely agree with the power steering to lead. I definitely agree with this. I know Honda actually made a limited edition version of this car that did not have power steering. It was more of like a track kind of special edition, very low production numbers. Forget what it was called, but either way, I mean, if they were going to do that for the top of the line, like track version, I mean, they know what's best. They engineered this car, they designed this car, and it feels unbelievably confidence-inspiring in the steering. The steering is impeccable. It's very good. You almost feel understeer before it happens. Almost. Very easy to heel toe. Very forgiving car in general. Not nearly as much torque steer as I would have expected. God, is that fun! Oh, that is so much fun.
So yeah, out on Mission Raceway, I mean, it's exceeded my expectations for handling for a front-wheel drive car. It's extremely nimble. The interior is completely stripped out, so it's basically as light as it can be and still be a daily driver. It brakes unreal with the Spoon twin block calipers. It grips great with the Nitos on it. So yeah, I'm happy. It's a cheap as chips car, and it brings a lot of thrills. I would say I've pretty much peaked with what I want to do to this car and still drive it every single day. Still gets decent gas mileage. It doesn't shake me apart driving it on bumpy roads. It depends on your intentions with importing a car like this. If you are looking for something to hold its value, you're going to want to go for the highest grade auction you can, lowest kilometers. But I think you're going to have just as much fun for something half the price that might even have a salvage title on it. It really depends on your intentions with the car. I mean, once they're available in the United States, they're going to be expensive anyway. So I think you'll get the same thrills out of something on the lower end. That'd be my advice.
I think the best part about this car is absolutely the engine. That is no question. The engine is 100% the best thing about this car. Very close second is the steering. Definitely. Oh yeah, see those little movements in the middle of the corner? I mean, you gotta be really awake when you're driving this car. I mean, it pulls. Yeah, it pulls. It's very quick. This thing is quick. Oh, man. Another thing they did with the Type-R chassis, as opposed to a normal Civic of this generation, was they completely seam welded the entire chassis versus just stitch welding it, which, yes, adds a little bit of weight, but the rigidity is the main thing. There are a lot of Civics, Integras, and CRXs that hold lap records around North America and front wheel drive lap records around North America. That's just a fact. I mean, if you want to hate on Honda, go ahead, hate on riced out Hondas, as do I. But don't go hating on the people who actually build and go and seek out after the driving experience that Honda designed this car to be. Okay? This is an amazing car. This is a piece of history, and I have the utmost respect for a Civic Type-R. And honestly, after driving it, I would not be surprised if I pick one up at some point in my life. I would absolutely have it for a track car. Absolutely have one of these for a track car. I'm in heaven right now, to be honest. All right, you guys, well, hopefully you enjoyed this quick video with this beautiful and slightly modified, actually highly modified, 99 Civic Type-R. This is probably, might be my favorite front-wheel drive car I've ever driven. Definitely the most fun, definitely the most capable. Might be my favorite front-wheel drive car I've ever driven. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Check out the build list once again over in the Fan Mods app. The link is in the description. You can check out the profile and all the parts on this car in the app. So definitely go check that out. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Check us out on Instagram at Roads Untraveled. See you guys next time.